What's good, everybody? It's your boy Big Nate. Welcome to Big Nate's Book Reviews, some of the best book reviews. And today we got one final reaction that I'm going to do on this channel. If you're not into this kind of thing, I feel you. It's like a whole kind of separate thing, so I don't want to spam you guys. So I'm gonna just, it's way too extra, but I think I'm gonna start another channel and just do shit like this, and we'll see if it pans out. If not, that's cool. But if you're fucking with it, get over there. I don't know what I'm called yet, so link in the description. But yeah, otherwise, I don't want to be spamming people who don't want to be seeing reactions. But otherwise, I got my doobie right here. It's ready to be sparked. And then today we are smoking this one for Ottessa. Wait, hold on. There we go. Today we are smoking this one for Ottessa Moshfegh. So I got my doobie right here. It's ready to be sparked. And today we are smoking this one for Ottessa Moshfegh. I'm like fairly fresh out the shower, feeling clean. It's like past 10 p.m. right now, but you know my grind is 24/7 365, so you know I figured let's get a video in. I was feeling myself, and I don't pre-watch these. That's critical, otherwise it's not a reaction, then it's like a response. But anyway, I was looking at the comments and they looked good, so I'm like, you know what, let's try it out. So without further ado, actually not quite yet, let me get this fully sparked, and then because I'm not talking 24/7, this is originally what I wanted to do, but because I'm not talking 24/7 now, I got time to drink my cup of joe. So I got, it's decaf, yeah, go ahead, talk your shit, but it's 10 p.m. bro, I'm not gonna drink a. But okay, let's get into it. Okay, my bad, technical difficulties, forgot to put my headphones in, so all right, let's get into it.
Talk about the stories first, because actually in America you're much more known as a story writer, and I'm always fascinated to know when you are.
What does that mean? You're much more known as a story writer as opposed to ...
Feeling the impulse to write something. Do you know immediately that it's a story rather than a novel idea? And where?
Sorry, that was me talking my shit. That makes sense actually. They're talking about Homesick for Another World. Which is a book of short stories, a book of depraved, fucked up, terrible short stories, but in a good way. But okay, yeah.
Where do your ideas for your stories come from? Because that collection is so varied.
Yeah.
Well,
I definitely know when it's a story or a novel.
Also, bro, is it just me or is Ottessa Moshfegh low-key kind of cute? What's going on with that? Because her stories are not. This is not the face I would have matched to the name. So to speak. So
Simply because if it's a novel, I'm overwhelmed by it, and I'm like, oh God,
yeah,
this is going to take time.
It's the whole thing.
You know,
yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't rush into this, or you know, I have no idea how this is going to end. You know, something like that. Where I get the ideas for my stories is really from everyday life. Usually,
bitch, who you hanging around? You get these stories from everyday life. What, Mr. Wu? You know what I'm saying? That one was crazy. That one was that's probably my favorite thing of the story. But anyway, yeah, you hanging out with fucking crackhead tweakers was
something like that. Where I get the ideas for my stories is really from everyday life.
And then I just saw a little something about La Povna where that sounded like her the most depraved of the depraved that she's read, bro. Who you hanging around? But
usually when something irks me, when there's a contradiction between what I want and what I'm doing, really. It's like, how come I can't just do the thing that I know is good? You know?
Okay.
Like quitting smoking. You
know?
know?
Right, okay, I feel you.
Or, I mean, that's a really boring example.
My dog's chewing in the background, so if you hear that.
Why can't we just be good? What's keeping us from doing that?
Sure.
And the examples of that are infinite. I usually get a voice in my head that
because her stories are very much like opposite of good. It explores like the raw, like base, primal nature of human beings, the depravity. Like it's drugs, it's like sex, it's like dirty, yucky. It's like almost like some low-key scatological, like some poo-poo cock, like just kind of like nasty type shit. And along with that, of course, just like all the different ways in which human beings can suffer. And also just like Homesick for Another World, one of the things that it did I thought really well is like A lot of very interesting, complex characters that are fucking weirdo tweakers, which was cool. I thought that was an interesting thing. Here, I'm gonna quote because I feel like I don't know. I can hear him chewing this toy loud as fuck. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm
That
just
is
keep
the
going.
story, you know, dying to be told, and I kind of have to figure it out, or it starts picking at me and until I can't ignore it.
I wish I had that, bro. I like do a little bit of writing. Wow, bro. I mentioned it once on the channel. Now I'm not gonna shout out, but I can't. I'm like pressed to think of story ideas. I do have some. That's why I'm like doing creative nonfiction right now, is because like the story's already there. But fiction is like, dude, it's just possibilities are endless.
It starts picking at me and until I can't ignore it. But I really don't ever, you know, pre-think a story.
Okay,
It's like, oh, I think the next story is going to be this.
Doesn't that kind of sound like pre-thinking though? I'm not gonna pre-think a story, but before the story, I think it's gonna be like I'm just playing with you, bro. But I'm kind of.
If you're trying to look at sort of themes that are sort of consistent through the collection, I came up with words like alienation.
Alienation, which would make sense. Homesick for Another World. It's an interesting cover, too. Like, what's going on here? It's almost alien-like-esque. And of course, there's this UFO. I don't know. I didn't really get that whole alienated. I guess just because they're so on the fringe, on the margins of what it is to be human, but like towards like the. Like in the like I keep saying it, but like the depraved ways, and it's like, you know, these people exist in the world, and I think she does a good job. Look, here's an example, bro. I'm not even gonna get into this, and I low-key like repressed this memory out of my mind for a long time. But long story, I'm just gonna give you like the super abridged version. I was at like community college parking lot getting a slushie in between class. And this old dude starts talking to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I'm gonna like show him like, look, young kids are cool and respectful, and you know, we're not. So you know, we're talking, and then eventually he's like, can I sit down? Like, I guess in the car, and I was like, yeah. It's like this old dude. Anyway, long story short, bro. He asked me if I wanted to come to his house where him and his friends like fucking get naked and dress up like babies and tickle each other, bro. Like, first off, I'm like, you need to get the fuck out of my car right now. But second, shit like that low-key would be a character in Homesick for Another World. Honestly, that's a good example, because it's just fucking weirdo tweaker people, but kind of like what it's like on the inside of them. So, but okay, so Alienation. I feel that because they're not quite, they don't feel, I mean, of course they're human, but they don't quite fit in. So, okay, anyway.
These characters are sort of on their own, and often trying to...
Wait, hold up, pause. Didn't he just say, I came up with word? Oh, I thought he was going to list a whole thing of
These
that.
characters
That's
are
alright.
sort of on their own, and often trying to find somebody to connect with, and it's their inability to do that that's the sort of the crux of the story.
Well-
They're slight misfit characters as well, but there's a lot of humour as well. I mean, they're quite
Yeah.
darker stories, but they're often very blackly funny as well.
I would say that.
People have responded
sure.
the same way, I guess, to Eileen. There is that darkness.
Eileen,
I'm
haven't read it.
surprised
What
people-
if I wanted to read more Ottessa Moshfegh, would I read Eileen, Homesick for Another, or My Year of Rest and Relaxation, or La Povna? Let me know in the comments.
maybe don't find them as funny as you do?
Well, okay, well, a couple of things. Like the first
Okay.
thing is, when I write them,
She looks young, bro. How old is Ottessa Moshfegh? She almost looks like hip, trendy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm surprised. I can't believe those words came from this woman, bro. That's crazy.
not thinking, oh, this will be funny.
She's so bright. She's so, cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of,
Okay.
he would probably say something like that now.
Right.
And I'm just kind of riffing.
It's true. Once you have like characters, it just like kind of comes from them. But okay, bro, I'll be talking with you.
And then there's a lot of editing that happens. I don't think of myself as a comedic writer. Comedy just
No.
happens because that's life.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Precisely.
And I also
Facts.
I love pushing a character just like a little bit over the edge so that they seem ridiculous. And
But some people are over the edge for real, to the point that they're ridiculous.
but I'm not really trying to make people laugh per se. I don't
Yeah,
see myself as an entertainer.
Bro, I did not really get laugh at all in this book. I guess there's like a few minutes where there's probably some like witticism as Bro, what the fuck is the word witticism? That's crazy, but at the same time, it's describing perfectly what I'm saying. There's probably moments like that, but this book is not. Humor is not a key word that comes up.
And then to the second part of your question about people who's like, oh, that's really twisted and dark. I mean, it's like, yeah, there are different kinds of people. Some people are made very uncomfortable by anything that isn't peachy keen.
I know a few people that had to stop reading this book just because they said it was basically what amounted to it was too yucky. Like they just kind of couldn't even stomach it. So if anything, she's interesting to check out because she pushes the buttons in that way. Like I think that's why she gets so much. Like that's why people read her so much. There's something interesting about that. The way she what she's exploring here. I'll tell you, I haven't read anything like it. I've not read anything like it. So okay, yeah, let's get going.
And who knows why they are that way? I find those people really boring. Sorry, like if you don't like my work, that's fine. There's a.
So this is part of it too, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like while we're on this, I feel like a critique of Ottessa Moshfegh. This is just if I'm keeping it 100. Do I have permission to keep it 100? Permission to keep it 100? Well, assuming permission is granted. It almost felt not gimmicky. Like gimmicky is way too strong of a word, but almost like some of it comes from like the shock factor of like, whoa, what the fuck? And I feel like sometimes the writing itself can kind of be lacking. I feel like if I'm being 100, I feel like, and it's been a little bit since I've read it, so maybe this isn't completely accurate, but I feel like there's not a lot of character development. It's kind of just like they're there. It's the character themselves that's almost the like central part of the story, but such that like they don't really change at all. And that's not true. That's definitely not true for all of these stories, but that's potentially a critique.
Trillions of books that won't disturb you. What isn't twisted and dark?
Yeah.
What isn't? Look around.
You're ignoring a part of human nature if you are ignoring things like this.
Yeah.
I mean, twisted and dark.
It's not the better parts of our human nature, but it's still human nature at the end of the day.
Means new and interesting. I'm
Right.
sorry, but that's just the truth.
It's facts. It's facts.
As well, there's a focus.
You tell a girl though, for real. She said, twisted and dark means new and interesting. And that's kind of what I've been, yeah. And if anything, like what I'm saying is like she's going off the new and interesting, the novelty of it more so than the substance of the writing. But that's not true. But anyway, she's speaking facts. She's speaking facts. It's captivating. It's captivating. Bro, I keep like not playing this, but it's captivating. It's like a horrific car crash. Like you can't help but just watch. Like, dude, I'm reading a lot of this book just like, ooh.
As well, there's a focus on amazing physical detail, which I don't think you see a lot in writing, and particularly not about female characters. There's been a bit of sort of shame and disgust in a lot of male writing. You mentioned Portnoy's Complaint when we were talking earlier, which is a book which is filled with male physicality. But your female characters,
Right.
Eileen, and in these stories as well, often are very fixated on parts of their body and
Right.
the process of being physical.
It's very bodily, very visceral. But yeah, it is very bodily. Like,
know where-
in the sense that like some of the craziest parts of this story involve the body. Shout out. I won't even say because yeah.
Where that comes from,
Yep.
or why that's something that you seem to sort of focus on in the book.
I don't think that it's something I focus on. I think it's something that most people ignore.
Ooh, yes,
Getting back
queen.
to my curiosity at this
Right.
conflict, an internal conflict about what I believe and what I'm doing. Is my behavior a demonstration of my sense of reality or not? Well, we all go around saying like, oh yes, we accept and enjoy everybody and every variety of human, and it isn't fair to discriminate.
Interesting take.
Yet,
I like where she's
those are the
going.
same people who spend 8 hours at the gym, go on diets, go to tanning salons,
Etc.
So and I'm not judging them at all. I have compassion for both sides of this conflict.
Yep.
But isn't it weird that we both strive?
Dude, these reactions are fire. I don't know. There might be a limit to like good videos. I'm not sure. Especially it's hard when I can't pre-watch them. But this is sick. Follow me on my other channel, and I think it's gonna be lit because this is cool. She's speaking facts right now.
To embrace our imperfections and yet aspire to be perfect. I mean, and that's just one aspect of the body.
Fact.
You know, and literature is a you know, people think of it as like an intellectual art. You know,
Yeah,
it's mostly
it is.
words and ideas and stories. Visual art, you know, you can really, like, you can paint a nude woman, and people have been doing that since they could, you know, like, draw on the wall of a cave.
Prehistoric.
You
Wait.
know, oh my God, the glory of the body. And it is beautiful. And then it gets very complicated because it's immediately made into pornography.
Interesting.
So it's like, where, okay, I'm not immediately, but it's like, it's really the difference between art and entertainment.
Okay, I hear you.
Can you have a beautiful woman in a book who isn't celebrated as like the magic source of drama?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So many books fail because of the flimsiness of the love story.
That's true. They don't really.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, you didn't really even know each other. You just wanted to F her. You know? That's not.
They said she said F her, and they said F bleep 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 her. What? They said F her.
Oh, you didn't really even know each other. You just wanted to F her. You know?
Right.
That's not a story. That's a comedy. And that's why I write short stories making fun of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know?
there we go. Okay.
So anyway, it's a very long answer to your question about why I like writing about the body in an intimate way, and that's mostly because I have an intimate relationship with my body. I know
Also, it's like the body can be beautiful, but the body could be disgusting, bro. You could be like fat, poocha, like got like kind of like skin conditions. I feel like that's somebody, yeah, and just other. I really can't even speak on it, but she also shows the flip side of, I guess, the body. But anyway,
every single inch of it.
dang,
You
bro.
know?
Yeah.
I don't even.
And
I don't know every single inch of my, like, from like here to here. Don't know what that looks like. Behind my neck, like right there. Don't really know. Like bottom of my foot. In between. I don't. Who looks at their belly button? Who looks at these things?
Had lovers and I've known every single inch of their bodies.
Damn, bro.
And it's nothing, you know, and I think
You already know she a freak. Bro.
I don't know
I'm
what it's
just
like
saying,
to
I'm
live
just saying.
in
I'm just saying.
cultures that really embrace our organic selves, but at least in the Christian America that I come from,
I really spoke it out as
death
words, bro. It's funny.
is really frowned upon.
I mean, yeah.
Nobody
it's
wants
true.
to think about themselves rotting in the earth, and certainly not aging, God forbid.
It's even
You know,
worse.
this is a billion-dollar industry. So it's like,
Wow.
if I can just call attention to the body for one moment, and it feels really important, actually. You
Right,
know?
wow, this
I
is
mean,
cool.
I'm gonna die one day. This body
Appreciate it.
is not long for this earth.
Not long
I'm
at
not
all.
going to spend a second more trying to avoid it, and especially not in my artwork.
Right. Oh, dang it. Cuts off. Yeah, they ended on a good note. That's it. Look at that cover. Huh. That's very different than this. Like those. One of these needs to, like, I should have got cut and they should have just done the other. I don't know which one. But anyway, this is probably extremely long, but hope you enjoyed the Ottessa Moshfegh interview with Vintage Books. Thank you for watching Big Nate's Book Reviews, home of the best book reviews. Go check out my channel. Link will be in the description, or maybe hopefully by now it's popping up on your Hoozle. But send me some videos too, bro, because I'm thirsty out here. I'm like scraping the bottom of the barrel. Anyway, thank you for watching Big Nate's Book Reviews, home of the best book reviews.